There's currently a story in China going viral. A 73-year-old man needed an organ, and 33 minutes later, it was airlifted to him, prompting to people's comments, "It's faster for you to get an organ than for me to get my food delivered." It is rumored that the 73-year-old is Franklin Yang Jr., the son of a Chinese theoretical physicist who is 101 years old named Franklin Yang. The hospital used a transplant green pathway, which essentially is an express form of delivery with the help of traffic being directed by the cops, opening up the road. In most cases, it's done by a van in the same city, but in this case, it was airlifts as it's between different cities. No country in the world can have an organ ready in 33 minutes, except in communist China. And for two, people who go to hospitals for other injuries might be given a brain death diagnosis.
我没有污蔑，我说的每一句话都是有证据支撑的，我有跟他们的聊天的截图证据。
我告诉你，100%随便找到去说，你自己害死自己的儿子。
是你不处心积虑，谋图不轨。你为啥说我孩子脑死亡？哎，你录，我不怕的。你为啥说我孩子脑死亡？你做了自主呼吸测试了没？脑死亡是做器官捐献、活体捐献的标准，太恶毒了。
Now, this video here is a mother talking to the cops after her son, who disagreed on donations of his organs, was basically diagnosed again with a brain death, and they forged the death procedures, and then without anyone knowing, removed all of his organs, and they were donated. China also recently launched a pediatric transplant center in May, and of course that's for kids. But the video in this is very telling. That's a mother who lost her child at the mall. In China, when you lose your child, it's a fear of them being taken away by child traffickers or that they will lose their organs. And it seems China has ramped up the frequency of organ transplants even more now, but at the same time involving kids younger and younger. Of course, this all sounds just like some hearsay, right? It doesn't seem like we have concrete proof. But then again, we will never have the officials admit that they're doing this. And this comment is on a video about missing kids, and he is a cop in Sichuan province where the superiors tell them to not check certain unplated vans. Those are special vans, and the government knows it. Some of which are operated, of course, by criminals or bad actors, but most of the other ones are government programs. Now, when you're in China, please stay away from things like mobile pet cremation vehicles or mobile cell phone repair vans. These can be bought very cheaply. They can be modified to be used, well, in most cases, by organ traffickers who are, of course, criminals, but it can also be used for a mobile transplant clinic in the form of essentially taking the surgery on the go. Now, so they also, in this video, warn about vans with dark interiors and advertisements, which is different than the white vans, stranger danger. But these are often covered up because the things that they do inside, so these are essentially the mobile organ harvesting vans. They also extend to things like fake ambulances in China. Now, many more of China's sort of mobile transplant vans or these express formats are directly from hospitals, especially because these have been revealed by whistleblowers, former transplant doctors coming out of China, saying that this is how they do it. I've also found that comments online indicate more and more people in China are aware that the government has turned a blind eye, in many cases are also involved in this massively expanded need for organs. Now, the source of these organs come from a lot of different places. For a very long time, they were from prisoners of conscience, but now it seems like they needed much more, so the pool of it has expanded. And they're often sourced from healthy people. In recent years, it seems like they're more likely from young people who have gone missing in China. And now, we know that they've gone missing because we've reported on some of these stories about particular high schoolers going missing and turning up, ended a few months after. But we've also heard reports that younger children, of them going missing is much more frequent now. And And this is a screenshot under a Weibo account belonging to this transplant doctor who posts constantly about how he's done many of these double lung surgeries or transplants. And apparently in this one, he says the 100th since 2024. And the comments here sarcastically says, look, you're busy. Again, you know, it shows that people are aware that this type of stuff is happening behind the scenes, and not a lot of people are talking about it. Now, you might be asking, how is this different than like a black market organ trade? Well, specifically in China, organ transplants are state-sanctioned involvements with the police system, with the hospital system, with the government officials. And in the case of persecution against various religious groups like Falun Gong, it also involves the 610 office, which basically is like Chinese Gestapo, and they are like what oversees the entire persecution. With the Uyghurs, of course, we know there's the concentration camps, and there's the incinerators as well next to those concentration camps. And it seems like the next step of, you know, not targeting just the prisoners of conscience, you now have the regular people who are disappearing, and maybe they were taken by criminals, but in a lot of cases, if it's in need of, say, a communist official, then those that have the right source of organ with the right matching of the tissue type, blood type, are going to be victims of this. So it's a very, very, very scary situation. I'm trying to keep it vague, as you can understand, with YouTube's not liking the topic that we're talking about. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. If there's any questions you might have or skepticism, maybe we can do a live stream and address those questions as well. All right, that's it today's video. It's a short one. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment below your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, bye-bye.